Okay guys, today what we're going to talk about is surface area. So we're talking about, for instance, like a box. I'm just going to draw a box up here. Okay. I'm not talking about today how much can go into a box, right? I'm not talking about its volume. Okay. What I'm talking about today is how much cardboard does it take to make this box. So if I cut a box open, if I cut it down the edges right here and here, and I open up this thing, it's like a cube, you know? And so I would have something that looks like this. Okay, I know that kind of looks like a cross, but here's what I'm talking about. You know, if I bend it on all the dotted lines and fold it, I can make a box out of that. This thing is called a net. And what a net is if I take a solid figure like a box, or I take a cylinder, you know, a can, something like that, and I cut it open so that I can lay it flat on a table, right? I would have something that looks like a net. I could just lay that on a table, okay? And it's called a net, all right? Now what we want to know is what's the area of that thing, and you guys have been practicing that with your quizzes and that kind of thing about finding the area of these shapes. This would all be rectangles. That would be easy for us to find. The surface area of a solid, okay, is the sum of the areas of all of its faces. So I need the right face, I need the top face, I need the front face, but I also need the bottom, right, which you can't see here. I need the back, right, which you can't see from this, and I also need the left side. So there are 6 sides to a box, and I need the area for all of those things, and then I add them up. Okay, it's that easy. It's just the sum of the area of all the sides. Okay, now one key term that you need to know here is a prism, because we don't use it that often, that term, and most of us think of a prism as those little glass things that we get you know, from a souvenir shop, and it looks like a triangle, right, like this. Okay, and then the light goes in and then it gets separated into all of its different rays, right? You know what I'm talking about, that prism? Okay, well, but a prism is a solid figure with faces that are shaped like a polygon, okay? So a cylinder is not a prism because one of its faces is not a polygon, right? Like a can, it has a circle on the top and bottom. And a circle is not a polygon, because remember, a polygon has to have straight sides. So we don't call a cylinder a prism. We call a solid is a prism if all of its faces is a polygon, or polygons, I should say. Not is a polygon, but are polygons. And they have straight edges and corners. Okay? All right, I think that's all the information that we needed there. We've got prism. We know what a net is. Cylinder. We'll talk about a cylinder in a minute. Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about one right now. Imagine here is our can. Okay? Now, if I were to cut the top off the can, right? There I go. I've just cut it off. So I have a circle. That's the top. And I've also got a circle on the bottom. Now what I'm left with is sort of the sides of the can. And I'm going to cut it right down the middle. Now since I've taken the top off and the bottom off, when I cut it down the middle, it's going to spring open and it's going to make a rectangle. So a can is a rectangle and 2 circles, because I could fold this part, here I need to point at this, I could fold this part right here around and make it a circle, like a little pipe, and then put a circle on top of it and a circle on the bottom of it, and I've got a can again. Okay? So if I wanted the surface area of this thing, I'd find the area of this rectangle right here, and I'd find the area of this circle, and I'd find the area of this circle, and I just add them all together. And that tells me how much aluminum I need, right? So if I'm making lots of cans, say for a soft drink company, I want to know how much aluminum I'm going to need to do it, because that's what costs me money, is aluminum. All right? Okay, let's look at the first example.